Hello once again and welcome to another video. This time I think I promised to create you Helsinki tram line number 1, which runs from southern Helsinki in Eira here via the city center and Töölö and Kallio all the way here to Käpylä. It's a pretty long line and it also reaches an area where other trams actually don't go. We will start from here, and once again this will be one video where I will create more and yap less, because this creating the tracks in a city environment like this requires quite a lot of concentration, at least from me. Or maybe I'm just dumb. The first stop is here, but it's not the terminus of the line. I will, however, create it first because there will be some tricks I have to do later on with future lines. And from here it actually just turns over here and merges with, I don't remember if this is line 2 or line 3, but anyways, it's a line already created, and this is where the lines merge. So this end of the line will be quite short. The bigger additions will come later on. Then we shall create a double track in here, because if I remember correctly, and once again I am checking this, the terminus of the line is, or the loop which acts as the terminus of the line, is here. So this is where the line starts from, and then it does this small loop over here, and let's build the other end of the loop in here. And there we go. The first end is now created, and we will get this stretch of track later on, like I said. There and there. So the end of the line is ready, and then the line will run through, let's see from the route map. Yes, it will run all the way parallel with line 3, all the way until here, when it turns to this stretch of track. And there were several tram lines running this stretch of track before, but for some reason there is a new stretch of track built via the Kamppi metro station. So that changes things a bit over here, but let's move on to the Natural History Museum, which comes right in here. And here we have the double track again. That's it. So really creating this end of the of the track is pretty simple and pretty quick too, because there are very, very few changes to the network. Where this gets interesting then again is in the other end, where most of the track needs to be created from scratch. But we will get to that. Then let's see if there are other stops before it merges with the old line. No, there are not. So once again, this is fairly simple. We will just pull the track from here. It's not even on the street, but who cares at this point? There are no pedestrians here and no buildings and so on. It can make a few twists and turns on houses if it pleases. We'll have to move that one a bit backwards. So there is the crossing. And then it joins this stretch of track and all the way through here. But now in this crossing it doesn't turn. It stops at the opera. Oh, by the way, to keep things consistent, I will also place the Natural History Museum in here as a landmark. What should we call it? As a point of interest. There. So as you can see, the city center is really, really saturated with all kinds of interesting locations. But yeah, then we'll have to move on to stations and delete this station, because a station is another platform of the opera station. And I can already promise you this stretch, or this, yeah, well, this stretch of track, or this, how would you call it? This route is not only run by tram number 1, there will also be another line serving it. Yes, that's what I meant to say. Then we have the city gardens, or the botanical gardens. That is also a point of interest, actually. Did I already mention the Finlandia Hall? Yes, that's been created. Great. But yeah, the botanical gardens are there, and we will probably have to add it too, as it's a very, very popular destination. But not as popular as the other ones. I've only been there once or twice. Oops, that's not a good thing. Oh, Jesus, no, stop it. That's the way to do it. The form of this stop is actually pretty insane, but once again, that's not a big issue. And here we go. Then after that, the following stop is probably at the Linnanmäki Amusement Park. That's absolutely correct. And this is the second stop called Linnanmäki. There is the northern stop and the southern stop. There we go. And then we need to create a tunnel in here, although practically it's the railroad which goes on a bridge. But Let's just do it this way now because I've already created the railroad. I'm actually so glad I got to do this part of the track now because this will once again ease my job later on. Then the next stop is... oh yes, it's another stop with the name Urheilutalo. It's not exactly located here. But this time, once again, let's just do things the simple way, because there is one stop in here, one stop in here, and one stop in here, and I just... why create too many platforms when you can just create them easily and they serve the purpose? That's I mean, my motto has always been work smart, not hard, and this motto will work even when playing games which have absolutely no importance in real life. There is a bridge above this road, and it's yes, there's a bus line over there. Then we will connect to this stretch of tracks, and perhaps the trams could wait in there, but that connection was very short-lived because the next stop is called Helsinki Katu, but now let's see where exactly I should place it, because yes, once again there is one stop which or one stop in one side of the crossing, one stop in the other part of the crossing, and so on, and yet all trams stop with this at the stop of the same name. So if I place the stop here, then I think it will serve all lines that I intend to serve. There we go. And the tram lines come from here to here to there, and then we need to move some markers because they are of no use that close to the crossing. And that's all good. I think Sörnäinen is next. Yes. And the stop will be... the stop will be... once again, there are 3 possible tram stops called Sörnäinen in the area. I will create just one of them, and it will be created here. Basically, the stop is called Sörnäinen M, but it's now let's see. Yeah, it's connected with the metro station, so we will survive using only one stop, and we will be very happy with it. The metro I have hopefully managed to build underground, meaning that I will not have to care about it in here. I can just pull the tracks and merge them with the previous stop over there. And then there is one track which will turn over there, but that's not an issue for today. That's maybe an issue for tomorrow or some other beautiful day when I once again decide to create the tracks. Now, Then it's once again, I mean, a stop with the same name, but two different locations. So where we are going is here. To actually write it that way. I mean, I've always had the difficulty, yes, you write it, but I always had the difficulty in remembering which, that is actually a bridge, which words in Swedish are pronounced with an E and which with the letter A. It's they are kind of, whenever you speak the language, they sound pretty much the same, but they're written differently. And actually, they announced just today, the city, that this stretch of track turning to the right, to left from here, is going to be undergoing massive renovations. If you've ever seen beautiful pictures by someone who photographs Helsinki, and there are pictures of trams on a long road with very old and large and green trees, it's this boulevard over here where the pictures have been taken. All right, I did say less yapping, more creating, but frankly, this line is easy to create because there are no exceptional routes. I can just check everything from the route map and I will get the stops right. I will have to use two maps at once because I sometimes need to check Swedish names of stops, and I also sometimes need to check if there are similarly named stops in the area, which allows me to place the stops in a way which causes me less issues later on. Back when I was living in this area, this was my tram stop. But I don't live here anymore. I live in another place. And I will perhaps, unless I already said it, I will keep that as a secret. But I can tell you I am served both by the metro and the trams and several buses, so I live in a very, very central location, and all of these routes, they're really, really familiar to me because I've spent my days roaming around the central part of Helsinki. This stop is actually going to be removed when the renovations will finish. So I'm glad I am getting to create this now. In a few years it won't exist anymore. Oops. I'm actually fairly surprised that during the first week or so when I started publishing these videos, I have more than 200 views, and that I think is a lot. But I just have to thank you, viewers, because it's you who have been watching it. The next stop is by a sports high school over here. So as you can see, the stops are very, very close to each other on this stretch of track. And there is also another tram line running this this part of the network. Now we have 6 stops left, and the following one puzzles me a bit because it has changed its name when a new tram connection was built. So it previously had a Finnish name, and now it has a more international name. The Helsinki City Velodrome is right next to it. I will, however, not make that as an attraction because I really don't know what's happening over there. I have never heard of any event taking place at that stadium. So let's just keep it nice and simple and let it be. Besides, the city center is the place where all the magic happens. I mean, rarely there is anything major, I repeat, major happening outside of it. This crossing is the most awful one in the whole of Helsinki. It's impossible to drive. Okay, we're closing on the end now. Wonder what the following stop is called in Swedish. I have probably never used it. Well, it's what I thought it was. It's just what I thought it was. Now I think there is just 3 stops left. Which this line I've actually enjoyed creating it, you know, despite having created it numerous times, despite knowing it by heart. It's been all easy to create, and yet I have spent several days not doing anything for this project because it felt somehow like an elephant, you know, but now it feels good to create again, and I will create several lines today, I hope. There we go. And then we only have the terminus, which is called Pohjolan auki or Pohjolaplatsen. And the stop it's once again a loop, but we're not getting into that loop just yet. So now we can perhaps create the loop, which is over here. There we go. And then we just need to add the track. And the signals, although I don't know why I should add the signals, because there is... No, now I am lying to you. There is a subline running here, because on weekends this line 1 uses a different route. And despite only using it on weekends, I will build the line nevertheless. But now it's time to build the tracks, and now it's time to create... oh, what's happened here? The line already exists. Well, fine. I don't know when I created this. I must have done it by accident. You know, sometimes I have a couple of beers when doing these videos, because this is a great way to relax. Just drink beer and build railroads. What could be better in life? I mean, really. But so sometimes I forget perhaps myself what I was doing, but let's not care about it as long as the content I'm posting stays sensible or close to sensible. My projects and adventures really are never sensible. I will perhaps tell you more about them in the course of creating this content, but the time is not yet. So now we've reached the loop, and then we'll just go back to Käpylä, and then we'll buy the trams, and then we'll start running passengers. It's so simple when you know what to do, right? And actually this video, I thought it would be longer. I mean, I really thought it would take longer to create this line than a half an hour, but here we are. But the next video will be really short, because it will be about line 1T, which basically mostly runs the same route, but it doesn't end in Eira, it ends in a ferry terminal. But now is not the time for that yet. Then after that, we just have to go to the trains, and the last train tram I bought was... Did I last create line number 3? I mean, yes, I did. So we will clone this one. And copy that and make it serve line 1. And let's see. 1 hour 40 minutes. Well, we need to buy quite a bunch of trams to operate this with the 7-minute interval. Because, like I said, it's a long line. Still more. Oops, not 35. I will need to double this amount to get the 7 minutes. That's pretty tough. That's a huge amount. One more, I think. And then it's all good. Yes, that was, like I said, line 1. And my next video will involve me building line 1T, which is same, but different. But that video will be published tomorrow. And for now on, it's thank you and goodbye, or let's say so long.